pause for a moment and really pay attention. Do you notice that faint, high-pitched ringing? That constant hiss that feels like it's coming from inside your head, not the room around you. Most people call it tinnitus. Your doctor may have brushed it off as age-related, suggested a white noise machine, and told you to get used to it. But here's the truth. That sound is not something you're meant to simply accept. It's a signal, an internal alarm. Your auditory system is under stress, calling for support because it's not getting the nutrients and conditions it needs to function properly. This isn't just about your ears. If you're over 50 and dealing with constant ringing, you're likely looking at a deeper issue. Your cells are undernourished. And unless that underlying deficiency is addressed, the noise won't go away. I'm Dr. Victor Selenus, and this channel is built on a simple principle. Adults over 60 deserve clear, up-to-date, evidence-based health guidance they can actually use. That's what we bring you every week, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's next. I see this pattern often. Let me tell you about a patient, Roberto, a 62-year-old structural engineer. When he came to me, he was exhausted, barely sleeping more than a few hours a night for years. He said, "All my tests are normal, but I feel like I'm losing control." And that's the problem. Normal lab results often just reflect averages, not optimal health. A borderline vitamin B12 level might be dismissed, but from a neurological perspective, it can mean your nerves are struggling, even deteriorating. When the auditory nerve is deprived, it doesn't just go silent, it misfires. Those misfires are interpreted by your brain as sound. That ringing you hear, it's like a short circuit in your nervous system. Recent research has shown that tinnitus isn't only about the ear. It's also about how the brain processes faulty signals. When communication between cells becomes disrupted, the brain can get stuck in a loop, amplifying noise that isn't actually there. To break that cycle, you have to improve blood flow at the microscopic level and restore proper cellular function. Inside your inner ear is an incredibly tiny artery responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients. It's so narrow that even slight inflammation or thicker blood can restrict flow. When that happens, the delicate hair cells responsible for hearing begin to struggle. They don't die immediately. They malfunction, sending distorted signals. That's where nutrients like zinc come in. Zinc plays a critical role in protecting these cells from oxidative stress. Without enough of it, your hearing cells become vulnerable to damage. But here's the catch. Many people consume zinc but don't absorb it properly. Certain dietary habits, like high intake of processed grains or excessive caffeine, can block its absorption. So even if your diet looks healthy, your cells may still be deprived. In Roberto's case, we focused on increasing bioavailable zinc through foods like pumpkin seeds and clean protein sources, while removing absorption blockers. Within weeks, he noticed a reduction in the intensity of the ringing. There's another important factor to consider: everyday medications. Some commonly used drugs, including certain pain relievers and anti-inflammatories, can be harmful to the inner ear. These substances can increase oxidative stress and damage the very cells you're trying to protect. If taken regularly, they may worsen the problem. We identified these in Roberto's routine and replaced them with natural anti-inflammatory options such as curcumin and boswellia. This allowed his system to reduce stress and begin healing. And that's just the starting point. We also need to talk about something most people completely overlook: the insulation around your nerves. Think of a high-voltage wire. As long as it's properly insulated, the current flows smoothly and silently. But strip away that protective coating, and suddenly it hums, buzzes, even sparks. That's essentially what's happening inside your auditory nerve. As we age, the body's ability to absorb vitamin B12 declines. And when B12 levels drop below an optimal range, the protective coating around your nerves, called myelin, begins to thin. This process, known as demyelination, leaves your nerve signals exposed and unstable. Instead of traveling cleanly, they leak. And your brain interprets that leakage as a constant ringing or buzzing sound. Now here's where most people are misled. Lab reports might label B12 levels of 300 or 400 as normal, but for someone dealing with persistent tinnitus, that's far from ideal. For true nerve repair, levels closer to 800 are often needed. This is where conventional evaluation falls short. It looks for absence of disease, not optimal function. There's another layer to this. Stress. Ever notice how the ringing gets louder after a long, exhausting day or a poor night's sleep? That's largely due to a brain chemical called glutamate. It acts like an accelerator for your nervous system. Under stress, glutamate floods your auditory pathways, pushing your nerve cells into overdrive. But every accelerator needs a brake, and that brake is magnesium. Without enough magnesium, your system can enter a state called excitotoxicity, where nerve cells fire excessively and begin to damage themselves. It's like revving an engine with no way to slow it down. That's why the noise often intensifies when you're overwhelmed or fatigued. Restoring magnesium through foods like almonds, avocados, and leafy greens can help calm this overactivity. It essentially lowers the volume on your internal amplifier, giving your nerves a chance to stabilize. Now let's update another outdated belief. Vitamin D isn't just about bones. Modern research shows that vitamin D3 acts more like a hormone that directly influences your nervous system. It helps regulate genes responsible for protecting and repairing nerve pathways, including those involved in hearing. Low vitamin D levels are consistently linked with more severe tinnitus symptoms. Think of it as the body's repair manager. If it's missing, maintenance simply doesn't happen. And many people today are deficient, either from lack of sunlight or overuse of sunblock. Even a short period of morning sun exposure, along with foods like fatty fish and eggs, can help restore those levels. You may have also noticed the ringing feels worse late at night, especially around 2 or 3 a.m. That's not just because everything is quiet. Your body actually shifts into repair mode during those hours. If it doesn't have the nutrients it needs, like B12, magnesium, and zinc, the repair process stalls. Your brain detects the faulty signals and amplifies them, trying to locate the problem. This creates a feedback loop that keeps the noise going. One way to interrupt that cycle is by timing your nutrition. Your evening meal should be rich in the very nutrients your auditory system needs, giving your body the resources it requires during its natural repair window. And finally, we have to address circulation. The inner ear depends on extremely tiny blood vessels, so small that even slight inflammation or thickened blood can restrict flow. When that happens, essential nutrients simply can't reach the cells that need them most. This is where omega-3 fatty acids play a key role. They help keep your blood fluid and your cell membranes flexible. When combined with natural circulation boosters like ginger and garlic, they support better nutrient delivery to the inner ear.
I've seen this transformation happen.
Around the 4th month, Roberto told me something remarkable. The sound is still there, but it feels distant. It's not dominating my thoughts anymore. That shift often reflects improved blood flow and reduced nerve stress. So what can you do starting tonight? Focus on a nutrient-dense evening meal designed to support your auditory system. Something like baked wild-caught salmon for omega-3s and vitamin D, a large serving of leafy greens for magnesium, and a handful of pumpkin seeds for zinc. Add olive oil, lemon, and fresh ginger to enhance absorption and circulation. This isn't an overnight fix. These changes take time. Your nerve didn't become depleted in a day, and they won't recover in one either. But with consistency, many people begin noticing subtle improvements within a few weeks. Roberto's journey didn't just reduce the noise. It gave him back moments he thought he had lost. The ability to sleep better, to focus, to enjoy simple conversations again. And that's what this is really about. Restoring clarity, calm, and control. If this resonates with you, start paying attention to what your body might be asking for. Sometimes the signals we're told to ignore are the ones worth understanding the most.